Link Click or Shiguang Dailiren, which I probably mispronounced, is a Donghua about time travel. Time travel has been done over and over again, but I've never enjoyed it to this extent. 2021 has brought us amazing anime like 86, To Your Eternity, and the not quite so final season 4 of Attack on Titan, just to name a few. But this Donghua might be the best series I've watched all year. So without further ado, let's dive into the review, and as usual, this is spoiler free. First, a quick disclaimer. I'll try my best, but I suck at pronouncing Chinese, so I apologize for butchering any of the characters' names in advance. Okay, so the story is about 3 former students who run a small photography shop. There's the landlady Chaoling and her 2 friends Cheng Xiaoxi and Lu Guang who work at the shop. Through a photo, Cheng Xiaoxi can enter the body of the person who took the photo at the time the photo was taken. Lu Guang, on the other hand, can see what happened in the next 12 hours to that person. During the dive, they are able to stay telepathically in contact, and Lu Guang tells Cheng Xiaoxi how he should act in order to not disturb the past too much. During these dives, they usually just gather information for a client. But that's just how things start out. As the story develops, things get much more complicated. It may not be for everyone, but I love the art style. The scenery felt super real and immersive. I can only imagine how much work went into the animation with all those subtle details in the backgrounds and overall smooth animation. Also, the transitions are great, like a drop of condensed water running down on the outside of a bubble tea cup in one scene, becoming a raindrop running down a window in the next scene. Story-wise, I was hooked after the first episode, but after the 3rd episode, I knew that this was going to be amongst my most beloved stories. And after finishing all 11 episodes, I am awestruck. This Donghua is incredibly well written. The 2 main characters complement each other extremely well. Cheng Xiaoxi, who always is the one to jump to the past, is naive and needs Lu Guang's guidance, who can see ahead and is much more level-headed. Lu Guang actually knows what'll happen and can still keep a cool head. Cheng Xiaoxi not so much, but it fits extremely well with what we're shown about his past. I totally felt his emotional dilemma in certain scenes, and I liked how it gave him a personal connection to these dives into other people's pasts. One of the biggest strengths is that the main character is constantly faced with hard decisions. In Link Click, they can use a photo only once, so each dive can have serious consequences. By the way, do you know the trolley problem? If you don't, it goes like this. There are 3 people on one train track and 1 person on another. The trolley is headed to crash into the 3 people. However, there is a lever next to you that could redirect the trolley. Would you pull the lever and let the trolley hit that single person to save the other 3, or do nothing? Some of you might say you'd rather save 3 people even if it means condemning 1 person. Now imagine the problem a little differently. The trolley is still headed towards 3 people. They will definitely die if you don't pull the lever. But this time you have no idea what redirecting the train might do. It may kill no one, or it may crash into a train station and kill thousands. Regardless how you answered the first time, knowing what to do in this scenario is even harder. This is the same problem Cheng Xiaoxi and Lu Guang face. Messing with the past can have unpredictable consequences for the present, so Lu Guang always wants to change as little as possible. As I said before, time travel has been done a lot of times before. But usually it's more like, yeah, let's try this thing and see how it turns out. If it goes badly, we can just go back. But here there are serious consequences, and I really liked how they handled it. I can't go into the specifics here because it would be a spoiler, but I usually have one big issue with the time travel trope. Link Click is the first story I know that finally fixed this problem. If there is a season 2, I will definitely talk about this in my review about that, because then it won't be a spoiler anymore. But right now I can't really go into it without spoiling things for you, but I can say this much. The way they handled this trope in Link Click made it my favorite time travel story ever. There's almost nothing I have to complain about this Donghua, and what little I got is rather nitpicky. But Link Click does take a little time to grab the viewer. Honestly, I wasn't entirely convinced until episode 3. Episode 1 had a great hook at the end that made me want to know more. However, I can imagine that not everyone gets hooked that easily. But let me tell you, if you stick with it, it'll be worth it. Other than that, 11 episodes are way too few, and ending on this insane cliffhanger is just plain cruel. Last but not least, what are my overall thoughts on this Donghua? Art and soundtrack are amazing, and the writing is incredible. There is so much subtext, and from start to finish everything in the story works. And oh my gosh, the ending. There is such a great twist at the ending that was actually foreshadowed really well, but I still didn't see it coming the way it did. I liked all the characters in Link Click. Even the side characters had so much depth that they make some main characters in other shows I know look bad. And the main trio works really well. It's rare that I like the brooding type character or the overly naive one, but I really enjoyed Cheng Xiaoxi and Luke Wang. Also, Xiaoling complements these two really well. I don't know, right now I'm at the same time super hyped for season 2, but also afraid that it can't possibly be as good as the first season. Since this was so amazing, I just can't imagine the second season getting even better than this. If you already know Link Click, I'd love to chat about it in the comments. Please be mindful of spoilers though. And if you have any recommendations for a similar Donghua or anime, I'm all ears. For those of you who didn't know about Link Click yet, I hope I could interest you in it. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified once I post a new review. And thank you so much for watching this one. Anyway, farewell.